Welcome. My name is Katie Simone. I'm a psychic life advisor and founder of Soul Evolution Center in South Florida. Its mission is to help you evolve into your best life. Welcome to the Chronicles of a Lightworker video blog. I'm going to share my out-of-body experience that I had today, January 9th, 2015, Friday morning. The last entry I had with my video blog was January 1st, 2015. I had an extraordinary out-of-body experience this morning, and I would like to share it with you to help you learn from my experiences and hopefully help you maneuver better yourself if you are experiencing such out-of-body experiences. I had a spiritual awakening in 2009, and from that I discovered that I can receive information telepathically, and I also experienced many lucid out-of-body experiences, which I have blogged about before on this video blog and also on my written blog, which is part of my website, soulevolutioncenter.com. Today I'm going to share an experience that I had with an out-of-body, and I've noticed over the years, since 2009, there are certain commonalities. And I want to share this with you to help you so that you can more adeptly maneuver yourself. Most of my out-of-body experiences happen in the early morning stage. Usually the time of day is between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. depending on my schedule. I found that to be the most fertile and conducive time to have natural, spontaneous out-of-body experiences. During these out-of-body experiences, I usually travel through the wormhole, portal, or as I've heard telepathically, it's called the interdimensional corridor between dimensions. And more has been shown to me that we all have concurrent parallel lives, past lives, future lives, and that we are multi-dimensional beings. And there has been a reoccurring theme for me in the past few months where I have been shown that I have parallel concurrent lives, where I'm experiencing life experiences in other dimensions and other frequencies that are not readily available to me in my awakened state. My out-of-body experiences usually occur in my sleep state in the early AM. And I use a technique called the third eye exit technique that I have coined myself. The acronym is TEET, T-E-E-T. So during this time period in the early morning, I was looking through my third eye. And that is the space between your eyebrows right here. And that is your portal to other dimensions that has been known from ancient history, from ancient times. And what I've learned to do over the past few years is look at that screen, that area with my eyes closed. And when I notice there's changes in the landscape of that area, that's usually a precursor to an out-of-body experience for myself in my sleep state. So this morning, I was looking through that area, and I noticed that my landscape of my third eye was changing. And again, I'm in my sleep state. I noticed certain geometric patterns appearing, and not totally gelling, but enough for me to note. And when I see that kind of occurrence, because I've learned from my experience, that usually means I'm going to have an out-of-body experience. And so what I usually do is, when I notice my third eye scape changing, I will hurl myself forward into that geometric form, because it's usually a portal. And so I did that this morning 2 or 3 times to no positive effect. And then what happened was immediately my third eye scape turned to like constellations, dark sky with white pinpoint lights. And then I was traveling forward. And I also, during this time, felt that I was very, very tired. And that's another precursor to me. It's before I travel through the portal, it's almost like I am knocked out. I am narcotized, almost like I'm given a drug, and I cannot control myself, and I feel very sleepy. So I did experience that, and I knew right away that I was about to go through the portal to another dimension, to another reality. And I felt very tired, and my eyes were starting to close, and it was a dark space with pinpoint lights. And I knew that I was going to go through the portal. And I told myself, Katie, you should keep your eyes open so you can chronicle this for your video blog and your written blog. And I tried very hard to do that. And what it looked like to me was that I was traveling quickly through a dark hallway. And there's a little bit of ultraviolet light along the hallway. And next thing you know, I was ejected, because I've heard telepathically that's the proper term to use. I was ejected into a basement. And I realized it was a basement of a parallel life. It was a basement where I did laundry in a parallel life, and there was a washer and dryer. And I realized that I had to be clothed properly for my next interdimensional experience. And there were quite a few pair of pants that were lying on the laundry table. And so I put them on, and I knew that I was to make haste and not to waste time, because the longer I hesitated, the more apt I was to be booted out of this out of body. I've learned that from prior experience. And so I put on a pair of pants, and then I noticed that I had a transporter. I have mentioned this in prior video blogs. And I looked over to a few feet from me, and I had an African-American transporter. He had short hair, very clean cut. His afro was cut very close. And I also noticed he looked very, very tired. His eyes had bags under his eyes. And this is common for me to see with transporters, which I have defined as those beings that take me from one dimension to another. Sometimes I have transporters, unknown, unfamiliar beings that travel with me to drop me off at a certain drop-off point interdimensionally. He was wearing a leather-worn brown bomber jacket. And I did notice he looked very tired. And this does not surprise me, because I have noticed with my past transporters, they usually look very tired, and they have bags under their eyes, almost like they are overworked, almost like they are blue collar, and they have these duties and functions to transport certain human beings like myself through the dimensions. But it's not something that they value highly. It's just their job. And so I noticed he looked very tired. And I casually said to him, because I have learned over the past few years, since 2009, since my spiritual awakening, that it's important to gain information. I want to gain information to learn what I am doing to share with others and to help other human beings who are experiencing these interdimensional travels themselves and want to learn how to better navigate that. And so I realized that I had to ask him discreetly in a certain way a defining question. So I asked him, so where are you taking me? What dimension are you taking to me? And he did not answer me, which was not surprising to me, because I found these transporters very non-communicative in the past. It's almost like they know they have a duty or function to fulfill, and part of their duty is not to reveal or overtalk. That has been my own personal experience. I'm not sure what other human beings that have experienced interdimensional travels themselves, what their experience has been. But this has been my experience, where the transporters are not very talkative. They reveal very little. And so next thing I know, after I put on these pair of pants, and I knew that was necessary to do that, to travel to the next dimension, we went through the wall, and I felt like I was, again, drugged or something. And I really tried hard to keep my eyes open. And within only 1 second or two, we were ejected and we came to an area, a building with a large elevator doors. And this space that we were in reminded me of maybe the 1960s or 1970s. It was not a modern space, but I knew that intuitively to be some sort of hub, a travel hub. And there was indeed a few other humans or beings around me that were milling about. It wasn't extra crowded, but there was perhaps 3 to 5 people milling about doing their business. And you can say it was almost like a train station, but it was an interior building with a large elevator door. And so I was there with my transporter, and then this unfamiliar man, middle-aged, came up to my transporter and said to him, you know, when you travel to this dimension, on your way back, on your return, they're going to screen your retinal, your vision, and they're going to download your memories and download those images. So this is what this unfamiliar man told my transporter, and I happened to overhear that. And then next thing you know, I am in the elevator, and as the elevator door closes, I see I'm in the elevator by myself. There's one other person next to me, but my transporter is not with me. And I see him as the elevator door closes that he's still in the platform or the train station or the hub, as you would call it. And then I get nervous because I'm going to another dimension and my transporter's not with me. Usually it's very important to have them because they're able to drop you off at key specific points. So the elevator door closes. I notice I'm in the elevator without him. And I get concerned. And I realize that I should not go to this dimension without him. And so I press a few buttons on the elevator, and there's a man next to me, and I say to him, I need to find my transporter. And somehow telepathically or intuitively, I knew my transporter's name was Leonard. And even though he did not share this name with me, I just had a knowing his name was Leonard. And I said, I need to go back to Leonard. He needs to come with me to take me to the next dimension. And then I'm dropped off back at that hub area, and Leonard is nowhere to be found. And another unfamiliar man comes up to me, and he says to me that Leonard did not want to go with me because he did not want to get his retina scanned and screened, and for his memories to be downloaded, as was the rule if he went to a certain dimension that he was going to take me to. And I understood that intuitively and clearly because I knew that Leonard had some kind of dark past, and he didn't want anyone going into his memory to reveal his past experiences. And then next thing I know is that this unfamiliar man, there's another man standing behind him. They give me a pile of papers. A pile of random papers, and each sheet of paper is related to me. It's almost like a complete past accounting of my life. The first paper on the pile was my college registration in human reality to the college that I attended. It was an application form. It was in my handwriting, in my script. And I was incredulous. I could not believe that they had this documentation in their hands. And then as I was going through the pile of papers, I saw that each paper was a paper from my past human life, as well as other lives that weren't my physical earthly incarnation, but a life that I was familiar with. There was also a registration college form from a college that I had not had attended in physical reality, but that I had a dream about just a week prior, in which I was registered at. And then there was a piece of paper about me taking a trip to Hawaii, which I have done in reality, but it was a little distorted. And I realized that this pile of papers was like a recording of my entire life, and not just my entire human life, but also my concurrent lives. I was so surprised as to the level of detail. They even had clippings of magazines that I had clipped out when I was a young girl. It was very revealing, and I was so fascinated and surprised by the level of detail. And then I realized that I had two, let's just say, male beings that were my managers or overseers, and they were in charge. They were in charge of my file. You can say they were in charge of my development. And their names, one of their names was shown to me, and also the other one's initials were shown to me, H period, K period. And so I knew that I had overseers, not only for this lifetime, but for my concurrent lifetimes, and that they had comprehensive files and details about me, about my lives for many, many years. It was indeed quite extraordinary. And usually during these out-of-body experiences, when you receive such detailed, poignant information, it's usually taken away from you very quickly, as if you're not ready for it. So they'll just show you a glimpse. But in this specific out-of-body, I was allowed much time to review the pile of papers. It's almost like they wanted me to know. And I know why they wanted me to know, because I've heard many times telepathically that my veil is lifting, that my curtain is rising. And those are terms to mean that my past, present, and concurrent and future lives are slowly being revealed to me. The veil is what we are all born with. And we are born with a veil for our own security, for our own well-being, because many of us cannot handle emotionally and mentally if we were exposed to all our past and present lifetimes. It may be overwhelming. Can you not agree? If we know we have so many marriages, so many different husbands or spouses, or so many different children, and we cannot even handle perhaps our own singular lifetime. So to be shown these multiple life experiences may be overwhelming to some of us. But I know for me that this is part of my life purpose, to be shown this, for me to share about this on YouTube and also on my blog, to help others, and to let us know that we are multidimensional beings, and that we have multiple past lives, present lives, and future lives. So this was another way for my subconscious to show to me that indeed we are multidimensional beings. And this was shown to me in such a way to not to be overwhelming, for me to assimilate this information, for me to share this information, which I have done so in this video blog. And this has been a prominent theme in the past month for me, and it has been so that I can share it with others. I hope that what I provided at this time is helpful to you and will start a dialogue within yourself, and for you to realize that we are so much more than this singular current lifetime that we are experiencing on the earthly plane. Some of you are ready to accept this. Some of you are on the cusp of this. And by sharing my personal experiences, I hope to open your eyes and hopefully raise your consciousness to these possibilities. Because when you can fully embrace that we are multidimensional beings, much gets shifted in our day-to-day life. Perhaps we won't take things so seriously, And perhaps we know that what we are experiencing with our daily life challenges is for our growth and development. So it helps us to develop and grow much more quickly, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please visit my YouTube channel to see more of my metaphysical and spiritual experiences, and hopefully that will be of much help to you. And please also visit my website, soulevolutioncenter.com, to learn more about my services. I am a psychic life reader, and I provide in-office, phone, Skype readings to answer people's questions where I channel beings of light and love. I also offer classes through teleconference. Please visit my soulevolutioncenter.com calendar. And please also read my blog where I share my extraordinary psychic experiences, including out-of-body experiences since my spiritual awakening. I wish the best for you, and I look forward to connecting with you in the near future. Namaste.